A person's success in life is not determined by luck, wealth, or even intelligence. It is determined by something far more common, yet far more easily wasted: time. Every one of us has the same 24 hours in a day, but some turn those hours into empires, inventions, and legacies. Others let them slip away in distractions, excuses, and delays. Why is that? Do successful people have more hours than the rest of us? Or do they treat every minute differently? Today's story holds the answer, and by the time we finish, you'll see your minutes in a new light. The man who laughed at time. In a quiet little town lived a man named Arjun. He was known for his charm, his smile, and unfortunately, his laziness. Arjun was always late. Late for school as a boy, late for work as a young man, late for opportunities that others around him seized. His neighbors often shook their heads, whispering, "Such talent, such intelligence. If only he respected time." But Arjun laughed whenever people scolded him. "What's the hurry?" he would say. "There's always tomorrow." He lived as though time was an endless river, flowing so generously that no drop truly mattered. If he wasted an hour, what harm could it do? After all, wasn't there another hour waiting just around the corner? The antique shop. One evening, after another day wasted in idle chatter and delayed tasks, Arjun strolled through the town market. The shops were closing, the lamps were glowing, and among the stalls, one unusual shop caught his eye. It was filled with clocks, grand clocks, pocket watches, pendulums, sand timers, all ticking, chiming, and whispering in harmony. Arjun stepped inside, drawn not by need but by curiosity. The air smelled of wood and polish, of history and secrets, and then he saw it. A tall golden clock standing in the center. Unlike the others, it had an inscription carved into its face. "Every minute wasted is a life diminished." Arjun laughed. What a dramatic thing to write on a clock. Time is endless. Why worry about a few minutes? The shopkeeper's challenge. The shopkeeper, an elderly man with sharp but kind eyes, looked up from his desk. "Ah," he said, "you think minutes do not matter?" "Of course not," Arjun replied. "What difference can a few minutes make in the span of a lifetime?" The shopkeeper smiled knowingly. "Take this clock home. It will show you the truth. But be warned, it does not measure time as ordinary clocks do." Arjun frowned. "What do you mean?" "This clock," the shopkeeper said, "does not merely show hours. It shows how much of your life you are truly using and how much you are wasting." Arjun chuckled again, thinking it was just a clever sales trick, but something in the old man's eyes stopped him from dismissing it. Almost against his will, he bought the clock and carried it home. The clock's secret. The next morning, Arjun overslept as usual. He stretched lazily, yawned, and finally rolled out of bed near noon. But when he glanced at the golden clock, his heart nearly stopped. The hands of the clock had spun wildly forward. It showed that most of the day was gone, not noon, but evening. "Impossible!" Arjun shouted. He looked at the sun outside. It was indeed noon. So why had the clock jumped ahead? Confused, he ran back to the shop. The old man listened calmly and explained, "The clock does not show ordinary time. It shows your effort. When you waste minutes, the hands spin faster. When you use them wisely, the hands slow down, showing that you are living fully." Arjun was speechless. For the first time, he felt that his wasted hours had been measured, not just ignored. Realization. That night, Arjun lay awake, staring at the golden clock by his bed. He thought of all the mornings he had slept through, all the opportunities he had postponed, all the promises he had broken because of his laziness. He realized something painful. He was not merely wasting minutes, he was wasting life itself. Minutes turned into hours, hours into days, days into wasted years, and once gone, none of them would return. The transformation. The next day, Arjun woke up before sunrise. He looked at the golden clock. Its hands ticked slowly, almost peacefully, as he began his morning with energy. For the first time, he felt the joy of owning his minutes instead of losing them. He started small, completing simple tasks immediately, keeping promises on time, planning his day the night before. Every time he used his minutes well, the clock seemed to move gently, as if rewarding his discipline. Every time he felt the urge to delay, he would glance at the clock, and the memory of its wild spinning reminded him of wasted life. Weeks turned into months. Arjun's habits changed. People in town noticed the difference. The man who was once known as lazy Arjun was now respected as disciplined Arjun, the power of minutes. One day, a friend asked him, "How did you change so completely? What's your secret?" Arjun smiled and pointed to the golden clock. "This clock taught me that life is not lost in years. It is lost in minutes. Every time I said just 5 more minutes, I was throwing away opportunities, discipline, and even dreams. Now I guard my minutes fiercely, because once a minute is gone, no amount of gold can buy it back." The lesson for us. Arjun's story carries a truth for all of us. We often think wasted time is harmless. We scroll for just a few minutes. We delay an important task just until tomorrow. We let opportunities slip while convincing ourselves there's always another chance. But life is not lost all at once. It is lost minute by minute. The greatest leaders, inventors, and achievers, they don't have more time than us. They simply treat their minutes as treasures, not trash. Why minutes matter? Think about it. A student who studies for 15 minutes daily ends up far ahead of one who crams once a month. An athlete who trains a little each day becomes a champion. A writer who writes 1 page a day ends the year with a book. It's not the giant leaps, but the consistent use of minutes that builds greatness. And yet, most of us treat minutes as if they were disposable. Arjun's clock reminds us, minutes are not disposable. They are life itself. A challenge for you. Imagine you had a golden clock of your own, and every time you wasted a minute, its hands spun wildly, showing you how much life you were throwing away. Would you live differently? Would you respect each task, each promise, each opportunity more? The truth is, you already do have such a clock. It is invisible, but it ticks inside every one of us. It is called life, and whether you notice it or not, its hands are moving every single moment. Final reflection. Arjun's life changed not because of luck, wealth, or miracles. It changed because he realized the value of a single minute. You don't need a magical golden clock to learn that lesson. You simply need to decide, will I waste my minutes, or will I use them to build the future I want? Remember, minutes make hours. Hours make days. Days make years, and years make a life. Guard your minutes, use them wisely, because the future does not begin tomorrow, it begins in the next minute. If this story inspired you, give it a thumbs up. Share it with someone who needs a reminder about the power of time. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss the next story that could change your life. Your journey to success begins not tomorrow, but in this very minute.